$2 here, $4, $2.50, etc., etc. Hey friends, it's the Hourly Flipper here, Troy Price. Hope you're doing well. Thought I would do something a little bit different in this video. What we're gonna do is talk about the opportunities that are available when you find the pictures online from a sale. Gives you a chance to really look through and see what you're going to see when you go to this particular tag sale. So I'm going to show you pictures that I found online, talk about some of the things that I'm looking for. Then I'm going to come back, and you'll see what I actually was able to get from the sale. Does that sound like an interesting thing? I don't want to take my camera and look at it, but give you. I don't want to go in with my camera and record it live because I think in this particular instance it would affect the relationship with the seller. But I think this gives you a good assessment of what actually it feels like and what I'm looking for in my thought processes beforehand. Okay, so I'm going to switch my camera so that you can see my screen, and we'll talk about these opportunities. Here we go. All right. Here is the estate sale that I went to, and it would be called a living estate sale, but it wasn't even an estate sale. It was a law practice that was going out of practice. So I'll just click through these pictures telling you thought processes of it. This is one area of one of their larger rooms that you see lots of the monitors there. Usually in any capacity, monitors can't be resold anything worth the money. What is in central interest here are the filing cabinets. They could repurpose those for storage for our inventory here as we sell on eBay. So that would be a good idea to see how much they want for those. Let's go on. This excites me a lot. Look over here to, boxes of the pens unopened, all kinds of different office equipment and office supplies. And I'm going to see what is there. I always like to look and see if padded envelopes are available. I find that they're much cheaper to buy at these kinds of sales than to purchase online. Sometimes you just need to, but I'm going to look particularly at that shelf. Furniture is something that you can't really move unless it's very, very high end. A desk, look at that. It would cost hundreds of dollars for to ship a desk like this, and probably wherever people are that are looking at desks can find one locally. So this whole room isn't something that's of particular interest. There's that desk again, and that chair. That's a nice chair. That's a nice table. More nice little chairs. Chairs, 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 chairs. Now, for personal use, these could be some interesting chairs in a landing, that kind of thing. If they were cheap enough, we can always, buy them and then sell them for the same price. But inversely, buy them and keep them for 40 years and then sell them for the same price that we purchased them. More of that furniture. Seems like the coffee area. I'm drawn to that Superman mug. There's going to be a Superman movie coming up in a little bit. And I think Superman memorabilia is going to get of more and more interest. Look at that little Keurig. I think that's one of those reusable K-cups. That would be something of interest that's there. Pictures, not so interesting. You could tell that this is a fan of the Kentucky Derby. And there's not much international interest or even national interest in memorabilia for that of that nature. More furniture, desks. look here, the 2 packs of Brother toner cartridges. That's something that I'm interested in. And maybe these printers, I'll have to look and see what the prices are, because sometimes printers can go uh, for more than what we could buy. For other personal use here, that cart is something that I could potentially use. All of this equipment here is something not so interested. That is a larger, heavy piece of obsolete lamination, and I don't necessarily need that. More furniture. Oh, let me go back. There's some bookshelves again that if those are cheap enough for storage purposes, for my inventory, that could be something. Miscellaneous things. At two other sales that I've been to of law offices, they have legal cases. I don't know if there's going to be pictures of them here, but that's something that I purchased. And then also stands for in court. They have, this is older courts before things were digitized, little tables for the overhead projectors. What's funny is those specific tables for overhead projectors go for a pretty penny. So I'd love to get there. I'm a sucker for books. If I know these are statute books, so they're probably not so there's not an appeal for those broadly. But these books that are down here, and if they go all across, those would be books with barcodes that I could easily scan. And you can see here, Couch on Insurance 3D. I'm going to go, let me look at my phone just for a second here. It looks like they go for about $20 each, but they're kind of bulky, so that would take up a lot of room here. If I could get those for like $1 a piece, they would probably be worth it, but that's a lot of carrying. And of course, that table there is something of interest. Need some fake trees. More large furniture. Now this is, man, that would be pretty cool to have, but I'm sure that's not going to be something I would want for personal use. Christmas items. Hey, here you go. These aren't in that good of condition, but if you see one of these out in the wild at a sale and it is in pretty good condition, that sells. That's about a $45 to $50 item. In this condition, that's probably 20, so it's not necessarily worth my time, but that is an item that is worth looking at. Shelving for personal use, maybe. Filing cabinet for personal use, etc., etc. Oh, going back, that could be something that could help, and I bet that's not going to have much price. Help with inventory control. And a computer, I like to usually buy. Oh, and we're back to the beginning. Let me finish that one thought about computers. I find that by the time people are selling computers like this, they're a little bit obsolete connected to softwares I would use, or the CPU doesn't push the internet stuff that I'm doing, like recording this now. So I usually do not get computers or peripherals there, other than like at actual estate sales when like a gaming keyboard or something like that. This holds a little interest for me. Funnily enough, I've got a spare monitor. Remember how I said monitors just a second ago aren't something that for resale? But that seems pretty big. That's probably a 15-inch monitor or so. If I needed a monitor, I would buy that. But I've got several of those around because if you don't have a second monitor, I recommend it. It's pretty awesome. All right. So there's where it sets now. I'll be joining you in just a second with my computer screen, my computer camera again, and we'll talk about the purchases that are made. Talk to you soon. All right, I'm back. Let me first apologize maybe for the audio quality of this particular part. Here's the deal. There was a leak in the ceiling of our basement. If you hear any kind of white noise in the background, that's from our Serve Pro people. They have installed, let me count, like 8 different big blowing fans, hoping to dry out the ceiling downstairs and under our dishwasher. And it is crazy. We have like a home-sized white noise machine right now. Apologies again for the audio quality, but we are going to sleep great tonight with the white noise. That's not what you're here to find out about, though. How did I do at that sale? 2 things. One, I didn't buy as much as I thought I was going to. I went really excited and bought less, but what I did buy was quality stuff. Let me jump right into it. Then we'll talk about how much profit that I'll probably make and then break it down by hour. Okay, here we go. I've got it just off screen here. This is exciting. I got 2 of these rewritable DVDs. You know, the demand for these aren't like they once were, but they're not making them much anymore either. These were $5 a piece for 100 of these rewritables, and they go about $25 online. I'm expecting that probably, profiting $15 a piece on them. Okay, remember that huge list of books? They weren't. It wasn't a fire sale. They weren't going crazy cheap. I did look across that bottom row. Only found 3 books that were really worth the taking. Let me show you what they are. This one is about nursing home litigation. Believe it or not, that's a pretty popular book, and it's selling pretty good. Another one had to do with, this is going to sound really legal, doesn't it? Prosser and Keaton on torts. This is a pretty recent tort book, and that is going to sell. I'm guessing on these that the prices vary pretty good. I'll probably get 40, but I don't know. I mean, I'll price them for 40 each. I don't know what that'll actually bring. But here's what's so funny. This little paperback book is $40, just like that one. These are people who can be expert witnesses for 2024. So that is pretty recent. There were a few things in that office area that I did grab. Unfortunately, in the kitchen area, there was that Superman cup. Somebody had already got it. That Keurig thing, most of that was gone. But in that one room with all the large shelf, I looked at those printers and the printer supplies. I'm sorry, just the vibe from it, I didn't think whether it was a little bit of condition that you could see that, there was wear on it, or the model numbers weren't exactly what I could find that had a high sell-through. I passed on all of those. I really found electronic-wise only one little thing. This is an MP3 recorder, and it is a pretty high-quality thing. It's an Olympus with the details down on the back. The thing that makes this more valuable is that the case is here with it. And this is like a $45 thing. I'm surprised, when I grabbed that, I was super duper happy. All right, here's a little shift in what I picked up. All of that's the things that's going to bring me money in. And I feel great about the amount I'm going to come in from that, and that was worth my time. But there were 2 other assorted things that I picked up that I want to talk to you about. I got an industrial box of garbage bags. This is exciting stuff. Look at that. Well, again, there's probably, in that at least 100, if not 150 garbage bags. I paid $2 for 150 bags. That would at least be, $15 in the store. So I saved myself $13 just by buying those. Also, this is the thing that I'm excited. This is the nerdy kind of things that resellers get excited about. I got 47 13 by 10 and padded envelopes. And then down in the bottom, there's 19 of these smaller envelopes. And these perfectly fit DVDs and VHS cassettes. I got all of those for $2, all of them. That's pretty awesome because they're about 50 cents a piece if I were to purchase through Uline, which is where I get them. I get my bubble mailers from. All right, so that's something to be excited about. I also got this large office trash can. It's a good size, and it was just $2.50, so it's gonna like triple my. It's going to reduce by half the number of times I have to take this little large trash can. The thing that's the most frustrating is when you rip this off to mail something. They're very static, clingy, and throwing them into the trash can in my new bags and all. That's going to be a streamline. Okay, so $2 here, $4, $2.50, etc., etc. I spent $28 there, and but I didn't get that much stuff. Let's look at the math kind of thing. So money that I saved, I am going to count it in this because if I'm not spending the money, it's kind of, saved money is like made money, right? So let's talk about this right now. That I save, I know this. Those envelopes are about 50 cents a piece, okay? So math. What I saved there, because we spent $2 for them, that's something about $25, assuming that the little ones, so $25 there. As I said with these, maybe $13, things like that. So I am already, with just that, that's the money that I would have spent on those two things already. Let's look at the books. I told you, that this was a good find, the books, all that. If I add those up, the profit after fees, after all that, is going to be $170. Okay? If I add all that up and figured it's going to be $140. All right? That's not too bad. This sale was just about 15 miles out of my way. The sale was just about 15 minutes out of my way. So a half an hour of travel time, that half an hour at the sale. So I'm an hour in. Usually I double that for my listing and my shipping on those things. So that's 2 hours. How much did I make at the sale? $70 an hour. That's worth it. And again, I was driving. I was with my child. We drove in the car. She made fun of me for going to a sale. And that's okay. So I had a good time, $70 an hour, and I helped them liquidate the legal office. This was outside their usual course of, estate sales, where it was a living, but a legal office. And I'm glad that I got to help them out. If you've got any questions about this or anything that you'd like to talk about of scores similar to this, just leave it in the comments below. If you would, please like this video, subscribe. I'd like to get up to 100 subscribers by the end of the month. So please definitely do. I'd like to get to the next 100 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you would, please click on subscribe. Share this video around if you'd like. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to mention them down below. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.